New Year's time and it's sprinkling. And I'm just gonna go to my clients. She's like 102 years old, and I'd rather spend this New Year's time as it's kind of raining right here with her rather than there's this guy that want to get together that he got a girlfriend for a while and I guess she cheats, but he wants to go get laid. But instead, I'm going to just go work this New Year's season. And I was thinking about culture changes and all that. My sister's husband's black, and how I get those dreams of we're curious about what ethnic groups, if you look, how you would look of a different ethnic group, like as a shape shifting into a black girl, and what I look like when I'm black. I don't just get those dreams. I get those dreams where there's ugly, like look like underwater sea creatures. Are real skinny. It look like a ugly, like an eel, but they're also like a long, skinny alien-looking creature with like black eyes, and they're really puffed. Like they look like a fish, like the underwater sea monster kind of a thing, and they're like super ugly, and they're also like sensual, sexual, like they're gross and weird, like merman spirits. They're really ugly, but there's a comic book store I always wanted to take a look, show you, where they have a lot of creatures like that in Pokemon that has a lot of those looking creatures. And, people send me the hip hop rap videos on Facebook. I was thinking about how, I remember when ASAP Rocky was looked at as like the only black Satanist, when Satanism's been going on in hip hop and rap for generations, for many years before him, and even before Tech Nine and all those, like the synth goth, the black synth goth people and Vampire Freaks, and you saw him on Vampire Freaks, different websites, or at school. Only if he went to like an art school like mine, he would see that go on. Usually they date black people, but white people as well, and there's a lot of intermixing and all that, but eccentrics. Beyonce Knowles, more of a upper level Satanist. Beyonce Knowles is Kali Ma. Talk about Kali Ma. Beyonce's Kali Ma. Yeah, rich and successful. Not all Satanists are materialistic. Some are not. A lot of get into it more so because they were young and they're tampering with. They like fantasy. They like art, and they like to control people, or they like sex, or they like just liberal views on things like abortion clinics and all that, or they have their foot in different doors like that are considered satanic. But not all are materialistic. There's the ones that are black, like to go to Fashion Valley Mall. Let's go to the Louis Vuitton bags. Yeah, like Louis Vuitton. Not just purses. They sell. I only went there one time, and I was amazed how much stuff they like. There's stuff you could travel in, travel bags, like carrier bags are very expensive, like outrageously expensive. I don't usually get Louis Vuitton, but I get, of course, real leather bags. Like I get the Mexican leather bag like that from Old Town, but that's good quality stuff too, and that lasts, and that, will last you many, many years, or real leather wallets and all that. I like good quality things, don't get me wrong. But yeah, I know during this time, I heard there's going to be inflation by next year. All healthcare workers get $1 more. I already was making another raise with my company, and there will be more going on in the future with money and change. It doesn't matter because everything costs more now, and it doesn't really balance out. And Biden wants to keep the middle class a certain way. There's a bunch of control buttons going on with him, and drugs, and all of that too as well. Like, there's a control button with Biden, and with a middle class I could see going on, and I'm middle class, so I don't want Biden around too long. But hey, this is what we have to deal with as of today and all that. And there's another wave of COVID going on. Somebody was recovering from it, came into our place. And I think I would recommend wearing face masks still, having sanitizer still. There's going to be different waves and different kinds of COVID coming down the line in a couple of years. There is going to be more, the cost of living is going up. Cell phone companies are wanting to read all your text messages. Nothing's private anymore. There's a camera in every place you walk in now. It's because of theft. And, of course, Rite Aid shut down, and a bunch of weird things happen this year, and all of a sudden I get bombarded by weird scammers, online scammers, people trying to get into me opening bank accounts online, and it just weird stuff has been going on. There's scammers left and right, and there's a bunch of suspicious theft and just weird things going on online everywhere. Old coworkers that used to sexually harass me back when I worked at Sycuan Casino, which Sycuan Casino had some sketchy stuff go on there. There was cameras everywhere, and they didn't break me a couple times, and I didn't like that. There was no break, and I had to work overtime. I was the last out of there bleaching the walls at like 3:30 a.m., and then I had to go to the shuttle bus and then go to my car in Spring Street shuttle bus area where all the people come from El Cajon. They're a bunch of tweakers. So I would have to like call the cops if there was a fight that would go on. There was a couple fist fights, domestic violence involving a guy and a girl, and upcutting, and family members having to come in and see that. They're like, oh no, my daughter. Yeah, that has been going on forever too, domestic violence, and it goes on with every race. This was a black guy and a Latina girl, and her Latino uncle came out and showed up. Oh, she just has, the thing for him, and she won't leave him, and they've been having violence going on for a longest time, yeah. But when you see different ethnic groups like Latina and the blacks, that's a big deal with that community. I know what goes on with that. A lot of them don't like black people speaking Spanish, too. There's a lot of Mexicans who don't like that. And I was like, whoa. And I didn't want to get in the middle of this, but I called the cops because he upcutted her and was stealing her bag, was stealing her backpack. And I was waiting for my Sycuan shuttle, and it was taking forever. And I was like, sometimes the shuttle comes late. I was like, what am I going to do? It was February. It was like near Valentine's, and we're heading into January and February. This was like in 2019 time when the Black Lives Matter time was still, it was cooking. And I didn't film that. I didn't videotape that to show everybody. And if I did, there would be issues because of the different ethnic groups and all that. And a bunch of black people would be pissed off seeing the black guy punching some little Latina girl. But it goes on all the time. It's just not filmed and watched. It is all it takes is somebody filming it, showing it to the whole entire world. We're like, oh, we've seen this for years. And it goes on with whites and whites, blacks and blacks. My sister's husband's black. If that went on with them, I would definitely not film it, but I would have something to say and bring it to court, especially if he injured my sister's nose and broke it. And she had to get nose surgery or get some sort of a nose job because of some upcutting or some shit like that. This goes on all the time. We see it. We see it all the time. It's when people start filming and nosing around was when things changed around, and because of COVID-19 and when everybody was quarantined and getting all emotional, and we're having new waves of COVID coming up and inflation. It's not going to change this year. You think it's going to change with inflation? Is not. The dollar's going up with healthcare workers, and I'm a healthcare worker. I make $18.20 now with one of my companies and $20 with the other. It's going to go up. It's going to go up to $30 to $100. This is it. People are always using Bitcoin now online. Bitcoin. I didn't even know what Bitcoin really was. I didn't even know how that worked, but it operated online. But there's a bunch of scammers that try to get you into selling Bitcoin online. There's a bunch of scammers on Instagram, on Facebook. No way, I'm out of here. Or the sketchy guys on there, they're older. You could see their pictures. They want a group chat. They're like, nope, don't involve me. But yeah, I'm going to go inside that little comic shop.